So, you would not believe what I've been through. Okay, so I got off early, of course, today. I get off early on Thursdays. I had a bunch of running around to do. Knowing I wanted to get a video out, I hurried up and came home. And I put my phone in my tripod, and I thought, well, crap, I need a drink. And then I'm like, I got a pitcher that has a filter in it, the Brita filter pitcher, whatever. And it had like this much water in it. And I'm like, I got to fill it up, but it wouldn't fit in my sink. I have one solid sink, not two. And I'm like, I have no room to fill it up. So I thought, well, shit, I need to put all the dishes in the dishwasher really quick. Then I can fill it up. Then I can do my video. So I do all of that. And then I get myself a drink and another drink of orange juice. Took a couple pills. Come and sat down. And my phone was recording the whole time. I'm like, oh, great. That's lovely. I should have saved it. I could have attached it to this. It was, you would have loved it. So today's topic is going to be, I don't know. And I'm hoping my ring light doesn't reflect off my glasses. I have to wear them because I can't see if I don't. I don't have my contact in, as you know. I kind of want to cover this. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I do know one instance that this happened. I saw in my third eye, which I'll share with you what was going on. Many times, almost at least once a week, if not sometimes once a month, if that makes sense. That when I put my phone down, I close my eyes because I know my pills kicked in and I'm getting tired. I'll lay there. And this is the weirdest part. I'm laying down and I got my eyes closed, the phone's down, fixing to go to sleep, and I could feel a detachment of my body. Now, when that happens, I'm still awake, and sometimes I lay there with my eyes closed thinking, what's going on? What is this? I don't know if I'm fixing to astral travel or they are fixing to take me to the ship. Now, the minute I become aware of, I feel like I'm either coming off the bed, because then my eyes are still shut. I don't open them because usually when I do, they leave. Sometimes, not all the time. So when I lay there, I know I'm still laying on the bed, but I feel lighter and I feel like I'm lifting. It's really hard to explain. But the minute I'm aware of that difference, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And bam, that's all I remember. And I'm like, okay, they're either taking me, and from the point that I disconnect, or I'm fixing to come off the bed, they wipe my memory. And whether they do it then, or if they continue taking me and then before they bring me back, they wipe my memory. And when I say they, I mean the extraterrestrials. But I still have that beginning part of remembering of what's going on. But from the point of remembering and on, I don't know. And it's really weird because it happens so often. And if I'm fixing to astral travel, I would like to remember what's going on. And I'm feeling that maybe if I am astral traveling, that I would remember. Why would I not remember? So I'm getting some information about that as I'm talking to you about it. And that was the point I just made. If I was fixing to astral travel, I would remember it. Because otherwise, why would I not? Why would it be wiped? But then I've also said, if you're taking me, I want to remember that too. But I also get the information of, although I get the information and I'm aware, I still kind of bargain with them that when I fear that when I'm ready to be brought back, I kind of come unglued emotionally, because I know that they're very loving. I know that they're very caring. And they're my family, and I don't know if my soulmate is involved in that, because my soulmate is in another dimension. Now, I will say that they say that your soulmate is here and there also at the same time. I don't know if that's a fact. That part kind of has me confused. But I see him in my third eye all the time. And he's came to me in a dream also. I have a feeling that he is also the father of my hybrid children, because they come to me also. And I think I've seen 3 of them. Back on topic, I do know that, and in hypnosis, this has come about also. When you're fixing, once you go and you remember them, you're like, oh, before, sometimes our human self is still attached to the soul self. So to a certain degree, when we're taken, we're freaking out of like, oh my God, who are they? Who are they? But once you remember, it's like, oh my God, they're my family. They're so loving. And you become emotional. You're so happy to be there and you're so excited. And then when it's like, okay, you have to go back. We visited with you, and or we had to teach you some things. So when you go back, you can use those things that we've taught you. And then when you know you have to go back, you do become very emotional. You don't want to come back. Earth is a very hard place to be, especially with love and caring and respect and all that. It lacks a lot. And also in families. Sometimes our families can be very harsh and harmful in many, many ways. You don't want to come back to that. You want to stay where you're loved and happy and cared for. And so they tend to wipe that from you, bring you back, and they wipe that memory so you won't remember. Because if they didn't, and I know this for a fact, if they didn't wipe your memory and they brought you back and you were still here and they left, you would grieve, you would get majorly depressed, you would probably want to unalive yourself, because you want to do everything you can to get back to them. Knowing that, I have said in my thoughts, which I know they can hear, if you are taking me, I understand that I do and may become emotional, not wanting to leave. But if you come to me often where we can visit, although I do get sad, I don't want my memory wiped, because I want to remember them. I want to know them. And I promise them that I will keep coming back and fulfill my mission here as long as they let me visit them. And I've said that so many times in my mind that I'm like, hey, when you come and get me, don't wipe my memory. I want to remember you. I want to visit you. I want to enjoy, although when I come back, I'm going to be sad. But I promise I won't get depressed. I promise that I'll fulfill my mission. And I promise to continue my life as long as possible until my end. But I don't know why they don't do that. Now, what I was going to say earlier about one instance where it was one of the first times. I had a couple of times before this instance, and then I had this instance that I'm fixing to tell you happen. And I was laying there in bed, and I felt that detachment, and I really felt a separation. And it really felt like I was being lifted. It felt like I was encased in something really tight, and I was being lifted off the bed. And then I kind of got anxiety, because this was in the beginning of my awakening and remembering of being visited and possibly taken. It started kind of freaking me out quick. And I remember I couldn't breathe, and I felt like something was really tight on me, and I just couldn't breathe. And I'm claustrophobic. And if like in the MRI, you go in that tunnel, you're claustrophobic, and you feel like, oh my God, I can't breathe, and you tend to freak out and fall apart and whatever else. So that happened, and all of a sudden, I kind of said in a loud whisper, oh my God, I can't breathe, wait a second. And I kind of, just thinking about it, I kind of sat up in bed, and I was like, what was that? Oh my gosh, and I'm trying to relax and breathe. And when I closed my eyes, in my mind's eye, in my third eye, I can see him plain as day, was at least 10 to 15 blonde, tall, Nordic just popped out in my head just now. They were all in the blue and white skin tight outfits. They were all blondes, and I don't know what color their eyes were, but they were all smiling at me with big white teeth, and they were kind of like, ha ha ha, kind of like, you know, it's funny that you're acting that way because you're one of us kind of thing. And I'm like, open my eyes, and I'm like, what did I just see? And I closed my eyes again, and they were still there. And I'm like, oh my God. And I opened my eyes again and closed them and opened them, and I could see. And they were like behind a very small, they were lined up, and there was a very small width of a table in front of them, about waist high, maybe a tiny bit higher than a waist high. And they all looked tall. They were lined up longer than the table was. And behind them was like silvery, whitish, metallic looking, and maybe possibly a window behind them of some sort. I don't know. I'm looking away, trying to remember what all I was seeing. And that's, I guess, one way that I can tell is because I'm not focused on the camera. I'm trying to remember. But I remember I was kind of giggling in bed, and I'm like opening and closing my eyes as I'm seeing this, and finally it just stopped. And I will say, sometimes when I get a download, some I can see with my eyes open, and some I see with my eyes closed. Actually, I've only had 2 downloads, and one was eyes open, the second one was eyes closed. Also, sometimes right before I conk out at night, I'll close my eyes, my pills are kicked in, and I close my eyes and I see images and things moving. And I once saw a different planet with reddish purplish mountains and a reddish purplish sky with more pink into the sky. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm guessing it was one of their moons. If it was a moon in the background, back behind the mountain, was beautiful. I saw that one time in my third eye. So yeah, I'm kind of going off and on track here, but the levitation thing, I think that they're really taking me, because in the beginning of this video when I was talking about, well, if I was astral traveling, I would remember, because I've never heard of anybody saying they astral traveled and they don't remember anything, because they wouldn't say they astral traveled because they didn't know. I will say when I was younger, I did astral travel, and I know this because I was over a beautiful rapid river thing between red mountains, like in Sedona, Arizona, and I felt the air going right through me, like I had no body, and it was going through me. And I was just going. I was going the opposite direction of the river, and river flow, I should say. And I felt free, and it was like a purification kind of thing, because when I came back, I wanted to do it again. And I don't think I've ever done it since, which is kind of sad. If I can learn it and start doing it again, I would, for sure. So this is going to be a very long video. So I wanted to share that with you, because before I even started this video, I was unsure of what's going on, but now I'm pretty sure. I just wish that they would listen to me, because as long as I get to see them and remember, that's the most important thing to me, is to remember that I will keep coming back, and I won't give them a hard time of leaving. I won't be hanging on to their legs saying, no, I won't go. I'll come back as long as they let me have my memory about it. Because I know without a doubt that my star family are coming to get me, to visit, and to teach me things. And I would love to remember all of it. Let me know in the comments if you've done anything like that. If you've astral traveled, or if you remember being taken, and how was it? If you remember being taught new things or something, comment and let me know. I find that interesting. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I rack my brain every day in hopes of trying to come up with something that you like. And I hope at least I do that from time to time. I really do try. I don't want to be boring. So I'm going to end this video here. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It would help me tremendously, more than you know. And it will help me in my spiritual journey and helping others also. And I wish you great light and peace in your life. And I'm sending you love, light, and peace. Bye.